Check out that fade. That's manual, baby.
Wow.
Steady hand.
I mean, should we celebrate that? I mean, yes, we should celebrate it. But
I'm a surgeon.
Well,
steady hands.
Well, I've seen your hands. I've seen your hands, and they're not steady. Is the thing. Like, I've watched your hands do stuff, and at no point would the word that I used to describe them is steady.
No, it's so funny. I remember spending time around my ex-in-laws, and
I'll brag about it.
I've been married twice, and I remember spending time around my ex-mother-in-law, and like I would just kind of watch her handle like plates and heavy stuff, and I was just like, she's shaking a lot. Like, oh man, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And like I watched like a video of me doing something, and I was just like, that's me, huh?
It's the same.
It's me. Only I'm 40 years younger than she is.
Well, yeah, but like God comes for us all on the grand scheme of evening out the human experience.
That's true.
I do think he come for us all. Now we're both under the monitor boys right now, which I don't like for me personally. I feel like the camera under the monitor. So my camera needs to be up a little bit. Yeah, and mine needs to be not here. But it's because if you've watched, I guess, literally anything I've been on ever, the camera fall off. Oh. So this?
I'm doing an impression of you.
Oh.
On these shows.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not even that. It's just the camera fall every day.
Camera do fall every day.
So now it can't be up.
What is it on? What is camera on?
Well,
that makes
previously camera perched on top of monitor, which is not a very good foothold for it. But now, in the planning that I've done mentally for this room, now that there's a door in here.
Yeah, Niki just hung a door.
Yeah, I hung a door.
Crazy.
Didn't know how before.
Now, would you charge $500 for what you just did?
Nah, $250.
No, $250. Okay, that's reasonable.
I did maybe 30% of the work. Holly did a lot of it. My roommate did a lot of it. Yeah. They were the one that really came in with the vision and just told me where to stand and what to touch and how to touch it.
Good for them.
Holly the goat. But yeah, now there's a door. So now it is time to organize
make
room,
this space
because right now it looks like
we got some. All right, folks, for the audio medium, Niki is showing us their room, and now the camera is upside down, which is kind of cool. You don't see that often. So it is fully an upside down view of a sliver of Niki's room. It does look like, I mean, if I'm honest, it does look like
in a garage.
It looks like you're in a garage. It does. Yeah. Yeah. My Hero Zero noting that Niki has a future on Angie's list. I agree.
Called it Angie now.
It is just called Angie. That's right. No E.
She rebranded.
She did rebrand. I think she maybe had to. I think
Angie's
Craig
list.
I think Craig of Craig's List maybe came for Angie.
Mr. Newmark?
I think so.
I've met him like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Wow.
He gives the University of San Francisco money, even though he didn't go there.
Yeah, he didn't go there.
He does it because it's one of the schools that's there.
By the way, welcome to the show.
Hey.
I'm one of your hosts. I'm John Warren with my forever co-host, Niki Grayson. This is BGB's podcast, episode 8. Thank you so much for joining us. In the second hour, we're going to be joined by Kofie Yeboah, which is very exciting because we're going to talk all about College Football 25. And also, I'm going to ask him about Skip Bayless. So get ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He made a 22-minute video about Skip Bayless last night. So
I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I can't wait.
So that'll be fun. Before we do that, though, we have some stuff to talk about. I played a game for review. My review is almost done. It's going to go up, I think, in the next, 24 hours or so. It's for Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess. Wow. It is Capcom's latest. Let's watch some. If you're on,
is this a B-roll that you captured?
This is B-roll that I captured. Wow. Isn't that exciting?
A professional.
Wow. Hey, folks, if any of you all have tips on how to get file sizes to not be fucking insane on OBS.
They just updated, maybe not for right now, but they just updated OBS to do the way it renders files different.
That's good. That might help smaller. Because this 30-minute or 21-minute video
is 56 gigs.
Is about 48 gigs.
That's crazy. So, you don't need that.
You don't need that. It's so true.
Is it 60 frame? Whatever. This game's very pretty is the thing.
It is very pretty.
I've played, I think, 3 or 4 hours.
This is, by the way, the first boss battle you're seeing, so don't worry. I'm not really spoiling much for you.
I don't even think that there are spoilers for this game. You fight a bunch of weird gremlins.
I would also agree. So I've played quite a bit of this game. I would say, without giving my full review, I would say I did like this game very much, but it is light on anything resembling, I think, a coherent and necessary narrative. It's just very folklore forward. It's very simple, but it is very fun. It is a tower defense game. Mm-hmm. It is a real-time action game. It's kind of all of the above. You're in these two phases. Reminded me a lot in a lot of ways about Bioshock 2, which is a game that also involved a lot of preparation of space and then executing on that preparation. And I do like that. So you're basically setting up in this daytime, the tension builds, the music swells. It is kind of really tense to basically rescue these villagers and assign them roles before sundown. You're having to manage about, I would say, 5 different things at a given time, and more starts to build on top of that as you get further into the game. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. I don't know if it's gonna make my year-end GOTY lists. I mean, not that that's like a super important metric, but I'm just saying I think in the pantheon of what I played this year, I don't know if it's gonna get kind of in that space. But I liked it quite a bit, and it surprised me a lot. And Niki's right. It's about fighting a bunch of gremlins.
This is one of the best PlayStation 2 games ever made.
That is a wonderful, wonderful segue. Because I wanted to say that. Like, this is a really, like, if you want a no bullshit, no riffraff video game,
yes,
this is that. Yeah. Like, you are not at all bothered by anything resembling an outside corporate influence going like, maybe we should like squeeze the player a little bit hard for stuff. As some people are pointing out in chat, it is on Xbox Game Pass.
Only God knows what tier you have to be subscribed at to play it though. But it is in there.
I think until September it's there for everyone. I can't really tell you where it'll be after that. But it is good. Onimusha vibes is right in a way. There's some Okami stuff going on here, in terms of just like the folklore and purifying a mountaintop village and all this stuff. And it is simple but effective. And this is not Konami.
This is Capcom.
This is Capcom.
So you guide this woman to the gate, and then you do a cool dance, and then you clean the gate, and then you go back home, and then you have like a little home base, and at that home base you can take the folks that you've saved on in the previous levels, and then they will work together to build up the home base, and then the home base will give you perks and buffs. Then there are attachments is not the word I'm looking for. There are like artifacts that you can give yourself and attach to yourself to change the way that you play and change the way that the enemies behave in some cases. There was one that I used when I was doing the preview that was like it kites them away from the woman that's walking and will actively kite them towards you, or it will actively kite them towards her. So depending on how you want to play, So that stuff is cool.
Because there are attacks that will basically teleport you back to her.
Yes.
And like destroy everything around her, which is kind of cool. So there are a lot of different little wrinkles and abilities and changes you can make. I think there are like 80 different kind of passive perk kind of equipables, which is kind of interesting. There are active equipables, which give you attacks that are like strengthen your villagers in a short burst, or like do a fire attack really quickly. All the different classes of villagers are really cool. There were some surprises there. You unlock a sumo wrestler class at one point, which is very fun because they basically are a tank that kind of pulls enemies into them and then can do damage, but is not, super mobile and doesn't really move at all. Unless you build them up. And it's like you just find the villager classes that you really like, and then you can go back and do challenges to farm those resources to basically invest in your villagers and your attacks and stuff. It's a cool game. It's not super complicated. Like,
it is really easy to grok. Like you're scratching your brain, but you're not working it,
Yeah.
And Eli, yes, it is just the way that I think StreamYard is doing it. The game, when I played it on
the
Xbox,
game
was
running consistently great. 60. Yeah,
yeah,
it's great. This is just encoding stuff. So, but yeah, it's a cool game. I really I dug it. I thought it was cool. We'll have a written review up on the website soon. Not ready to give it a review score yet, which is basically one of three things, but I know what I'm leaning toward.
87.
87. That's one of so there's 24, 87, and 100. Those are the three scores.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's on Game Pass. If you've got Game Pass, like, this is kind of a no-brainer to check out. And it is out, I believe, tomorrow morning. So go
ye old Friday release.
Yeah, we're recording this on Thursday, so Friday the 19th. If you're listening to this after this point, it is
spooky.
Spooky.
Friday the 19th.
Friday the 19th. That's when Jeremy, Jason's brother, comes out.
Oh shit.
Jeremy's like, I'm also mad.
No.
I came out of the lake and I'm also mad.
Is that the one that that's not the one that I almost said Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't like? That's a different guy?
That's Michael Myers.
Related?
No.
Have they hung out?
Have Michael Myers and Jason hung out? Freddy and Jason have hung out. I don't think Michael Myers and Jason have hung out.
Damn. They should got to get on that. Well, I guess he's dead now.
Well.
Don't they get him?
Yeah, but like they always get him.
Oh. So what the fuck's the point? They get him every time?
They get him. They pretty much get him every time.
Why don't they just cut his head off?
That's a great idea. And this is a great segue. I don't even think you knew that you were doing it. Should Niki see Longlegs?
Is Michael in this one?
No.
Is the scary guy a spider?
No.
Is a guy?
Yeah.
Slender Man?
Nope.
Why it called Longlegs?
Because that's what he calls himself. That's all he calls.
That's what he calls himself.
That's what he calls himself.
Is Longlegs.
He signs his notes with Longlegs.
Are his legs particularly long?
They're not.
Just regular legs.
They're regular legs.
Okay. Funny?
I laughed quite a few times in this movie.
Okay, because
intention? And I was the only one who was laughing hard in this movie.
Okay.
which was like kind of surprising. I was like looking around like,
that was a joke.
This is funny. Like, they did some stuff in this movie that is like intentionally funny.
Okay.
But no one else is laughing. I think everyone else is like, wow, this guy is really a sicko. And I'm like,
no, I laughed at a joke.
But I laughed at him breaking out into song.
It's a musical?
In one scene it is. It's great.
Like Alan Wake.
It is very obsessed with rock and roll. So like satanic panic, rock and roll, like Alan Wake. If you like the song Bang a Gong by T-Rex, like there's a lot to like in this movie. I was lukewarm on this movie, but I'm kind of curious if you should see it.
If I like Alan Wake, will I like this?
I don't think they are similar at all, but did you think Alan Wake was scary?
No.
You might like this.
Okay.
What do you think is scary? Like,
I don't like jump scare. I don't love jump scare. I don't like particularly like body horror violence. Like if a person is like being tortured, I don't want or need that. Interesting. So your reaction says that both of these are in there.
What if I have a jump scare. I don't like jump scares either.
Okay.
So I don't like them. In the theater, and Ann and I saw this together. So this is how we see horror movies. Okay. So Ann is usually to my right.
Yes.
And when I think there's about to be a jump scare coming, this is what happens. And for the audio people, I'm sorry, but I'm going to be looking away from the screen and down. So I do this because I don't like jump scares that I know that they're coming.
Yes.
And then Anne will tap me and loudly go, "The screen's up there." which is so
that's really funny. That's so
rude. But I was right. All 4 times there was a really bad jump scare. I predicted them and looked away in time.
That's great. Okay.
So I can tell you when they were. I can tell you the timestamps.
That would be great.
And you can kind of do that, and then I think you would be fine.
Okay, my thing is that I don't think I'm old enough yet to watch a horror movie in the theater. I think I need to be able to be at any point in time without consequence of missing anything. Be like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to hit pause on this guy. So I will have to wait until it comes out on VHS so I can watch it at
VHS. Home. Yeah. This is one of those movies that as a joke is going to come out on VHS, I think.
Oh, great.
Like, I think the marketing team is so invested that they'll probably make a VHS version of this movie.
They should do that more.
Yeah, totally.
More movies should come out on VHS.
I agree. I think it's taught. We've had a vinyl revolution for sound. Let's go back to VHS, right?
Hold on. The thing about vinyl is that it sounds better.
It does. VHS does not look
no.
I mean,
no.
It doesn't look as high fidelity.
It looks different.
I think like on a CRT.
Yes, there is a richness to it for sure.
There's a richness to it,
but it doesn't look better. What's Titan? Do you mean did you spell Titanic wrong, Lucky Hyena?
Yeah,
I've seen Titanic.
Spelled Titanic wrong.
So that one's not scary. Even the part where the boat sinks.
Yeah. Don't worry about whatever Lucky Hyena is talking about.
I'm gonna look it up.
I actually haven't seen that movie either. I've heard that I should, but I haven't.
I don't like this. This girl has, she's got like screws in her fucking head.
Yeah, that's like
a body. Child.
That's a body horror.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Sharks. Sharks. I'm out.
I'm out. Sharks. I'm out. This morning, I guess it's Polygon's Spicy Takes Week. Which I did not know.
Theme week.
I did not know until a Cameron Kunzelman gym popped up about Bioshock Infinite. And I did you ever play Bioshock Infinite?
Yes. I think I actually might have beaten it. I couldn't, John, tell you anything about it. Literally anything. Here's what I think happens in the video game Bioshock Infinite.
Tell me.
You're a guy named the name that came to my head immediately, and I know it isn't, but I want to say his name is Grayson Waller. But it isn't. That's the wrestler.
That's the wrestler.
But it feels like his name would be Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller, sure.
And I think the reveal is that it's his daughter. This girl.
And what's the daughter's name?
It's probably like Elizabeth.
That's exactly what her name is.
So it's Elizabeth, and I think it's his daughter is the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And they hang out. You've got like a grappling hook or something, and you ride the rails. And it's turbo racist. Like the whole thing feels the most racist a video game could possibly be.
You are dropped into a racist society that also as a text feels racist.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Like top to bottom the thing feels racist.
Yeah.
And then you have sometimes you tell her to run, and then sometimes you tell her to stop. And then sometimes you tell her to go pick up an orb, probably, and then she picks up the orb.
You do a lot less of that than the game indicated that you would. It's mostly kind of on rails.
Okay, but but there's robots are the minorities. But also there's minorities. So I think it's like a multiple stratus.
I don't think the robots are they build robots for... They build robots like for the white people.
I see. Okay, so that's literally it. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's a good piece. People should go read it. It kind of explains why this game has continued to live in conversations for over a decade. Whereas a lot of games that like people just agree are bad don't kind of last this long in the discourse. This one has, and there is some magic juice sauce about this game that makes me think about it every once in a while. And I go, well, I have fond memories of the act of playing it, if that makes sense. But I also, even while I was playing it, was like, I don't think this is saying anything that Ken Levine thinks he is. But it is I think an even-minded piece that gives Ken enough credit and also acknowledges that it falls short in a lot of ways. So I think people should go read that piece. It's very good.
Is the video game part of it good? Like the part where you play it?
There are, like it is a step back from Bioshock 2. And it is probably a step up over Bioshock 1.
Well, that you don't want that.
No. I mean, it's like it's not
on the scale of you've made 3 video games. You don't want one step forward and then one step back.
But that's kind of what they did. I think from a gameplay perspective, it's not that interesting. I think they wanted it to be more interesting than it was, and I think at some point they thought, wow, the story is going to be so like rip-roaring, rollicking, and huge that you're not going to really care that the gameplay is actually kind of taking a step back. And it's like, no.
When I play a video game, I want to play the video game.
Yeah. Like it feels okay, but it's like, it's a step back from Bioshock 2.
So you're really excited for Judas is what I'm hearing.
I am very intrigued by Judas, and I'm intrigued by Bioshock 4, which had a leak this week. Bioshock 4, an image from that game leaked.
What it looked like?
It's indecipherable. It just looks like a big gun with some stuff, and then like the person was looking at something in the game, and you have no sense of whether it's like a retro future or actual future or anything like that. So we really learned nothing about it. It was like from some artist portfolio that got leaked. But it's apparently an image from Bioshock 4. So it's weird that we're getting both Judas and Bioshock 4. I don't think it'll be called Infinite. I don't think it'll be called 4, but it'll be very funny to go from Infinite to 4. It's a little bit like going from Mario Galaxy to Mario. We're back on Earth.
Yeah.
Well, here we are.
Mario Earth.
Where
is this JPEG?
They are making another Bioshock. Yes. Can the market handle 2? Atlas shrugged likes.
This is nothing.
It is nothing.
I'm looking at
I will
this
say
picture.
that. I was going to go find it, but it's like it's so nothing that I don't think
here. No. Put it in the chat so we can let's spend 15 breathless minutes describing this JPEG.
All right. Bioshock 4.
I just put it in the private chat in here.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes. Nice. Health bar is in the wrong spot. So that's good.
Good job.
It's not. It's a normal place to put it, I guess.
There you go.
There it is.
I guess can't make it bigger, huh?
Nah, I just had to zoom in.
Oh, there we go.
Cool.
There we go.
Wow. So you've got an ability on right and left bumper. So that's interesting. And then it seems like an ability if you press both of them at the same time.
Yeah, it looks like you got some cooldowns, like an Overwatch,
kind of a cooldown system. That seems new. I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
and then
actually no, it just looks like you're equipping 3 plasmids at once. That's all.
What did you call me?
They're plasmids. That's what they're called in this game. Plasmids. A ricochet shotgun. It's got some little doodads on it. You're looking at an orb. The health and
this is nothing.
I will say the UX looks like it is not even remotely done.
No, not even a little bit.
So yeah, this is not something I would glean any sort of information from.
This is Bioshock 4.
This is apparently Bioshock 4.
Looks like a video game.
It's a video game.
This is nothing. This is a situation where it's like, you leaked it, but for what?
Like,
yeah, cool.
I guess it's just like proof of life.
Yeah, but this could be any video game.
I know.
Like, you could tell me this is Halo 7, and I would be like,
oh, cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
Wow. Now Master Chief can shoot lightning.
Awesome.
And stop time if he hits both bumpers, I guess.
Cool.
So yeah, this did get leaked. And yeah, so we're getting Judas and we're getting Bioshock 4, within a certain amount of time. I don't know. Wild. What a world, right?
What a beautiful world. Anybody can make the same video game.
It's true. Hey, I wrote a piece last night about wearing headphones on calls.
Good piece.
It was funny. I wrote it to make myself laugh, but I will say I've already gotten a couple people that are like, "Well, I have kids, so I can't do this."
What?
And I didn't respond to them, and because a couple of people that said this I like, and I'm like, I don't want to put these people on blast in any sort of way.
What?
But you can wear one. You can wear one earbud. You can wear open back.
There are so many solutions to this. There exists a middle ground between I can't understand you when you talk, and I've ignored my kids so deeply that they've both killed themselves.
they've both climbed into the oven. Yeah.
Like, yeah. They somehow got the refrigerator in the oven, and then they got in the fridge in the oven.
Yeah.
That's like,
I didn't want to respond to these people on Twitter because who
obviously
cares? But it's like, I'm like, yeah, there are solutions to this problem. And also I didn't appreciate that the framing and I felt like it was a tacit attempt to be like, well, I guess you're telling parents. I guess you're telling parents they can't work from home.
That's
that's
exactly what you said.
I'm saying
those are the words.
Kids, you're done working. That's what I'm saying. You're done working.
I don't think that you should feel bad about this.
I don't feel bad. I do. I am like, we have to start saying something to
for sure,
for our friends and loved ones.
My therapist is like this. I'm close to being like, hey, you can't do this anymore. And she has kid.
Oh.
But like,
it's odd. I mean, I think what I've determined is that people like below a certain technology awareness and above a certain age, like both sure. sets are, and sometimes they overlap. They just believe that the pitfalls of like a call dropping in and out, that's just part
of it.
Like, and there's nothing that they can do.
We've solved this problem.
We've solved it.
We had this problem solved when Skype was around.
Yeah.
1,000,000 years ago.
Yeah. We have to start doing it. And it's like 85% of the people I talk to cold.
Yeah.
Just raw dog it. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't. You've got to pop on. You have to pop on a set of hair.
And they have them, is the thing.
Yeah,
you own a pair of headphones,
and it's also like a wired pair of Sony earbuds that will last you 2 years. Cost $10.
$10. Yes,
it's $10.
It's not hard
for quote unquote shitty Sony earbuds that sound perfectly fine.
Yeah, good enough for a call to make my life easier. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're right, John.
I know I'm right. I know. Thank you. Someone saying, who said that side didn't go far enough? Yeah, My Hero Zero. I agree.
What do you think? What do you think that should happen then?
They should have their computers repossessed, and they should lose their jobs, and their kids. So if they take them, like if you don't, just like CPS shows up. we noticed that you were on a call without headphones.
Your kids don't give a shit about it either. You're helping your kids.
I know.
You're poisoning. If you think about it, John, you're so right. If you think about it, you're poisoning your children.
Yeah.
Whenever you talk about work around them, they're not old enough. Their brains aren't formed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's abuse.
It's abuse. And we're not going to stand for it anymore.
Not anymore. No.
RJ Lee mentioning that the intersecting circle here are people who don't know how to mute the speakerphone either. That's so right. Like some people are like, oh, like I've got to like get up and walk around or like some whatever. I'm like, okay, then mute it when you're not talking. Mute yourself when you're not talking.
But they don't know where the mute button is.
I guess so.
It's sad. Really?
Liv saying in 2007 we had calls, we had jobs, we had.
And now what do we have?
Nothing.
Nothing. Grayson Waller is starring in Bioshock 4.
Bioshock 4.
We have nothing anymore.
Oh no, the lighthouse is there. Oh
Elizabeth.
No. Elizabeth, no.
Big Daddy. Oh
no. What else do we want to talk about? Hey, we have some Hive questions. We're doing Hive questions in the first half of the show because second half is going to be very football sports focused. I'm going to lose half of our live viewership, I think, but that's okay. Y'all can go back to working at home with your kids. Dolfok is asking a great question. It's been a minute since Labo and even longer since Wii Fit Adventure. When do you think Nintendo is going to get back into the peripheral game? And what is that peripheral going to be?
Well, the Nintendo Switch Sports had the leg strap.
Right.
So that was the last one. So then that was 2 years ago. So,
but that did not make any sort of cultural splash, right? Like the Ring Fit,
no,
definitely like that got some stuff going.
Normies, I think, and this is bizarre, I just don't think normies know it exists.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nintendo Switch Sports, they really fucked up by not making it free.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if they were like, oh yeah, the new Wii Sports is out, and it comes free with, like it's on the Switch now.
Yeah, it's just available for you to download.
Yeah, like that would have been.
What if they had made it like? What if they had made it like that U2 album on the iPods that they just
forced it on.
They just forced it on you.
Yeah, that would be better. People would not be mad about that. I don't think.
Just a heads up. We deleted Tears of the Kingdom so we could put Wii Sports 2 on this.
3, please.
Yeah, you're right. That is 3. But I agree. That would have been cool.
That would have been sick, but they'll never do it. On the similar topic, do you see the Fallout? No. It's not Fallout, is it? The pushback, the course correction. Everyone's mad, John, about Nintendo World Championships because it doesn't have online leaderboards.
Yeah.
Do you think they're coming later?
Why would they be coming later when they're so easy to do?
Because they do that.
Launch.
They had Mario. Remember when that last Mario Party came out? And then a year later, they were like, it's got online multiplayer now. It sucks, but it does have it. They did that with tennis. Yeah. Where like Mario Tennis, where they were like, and Mario Golf, where they were like, here's some new features that were definitely done.
Yeah.
And then 3 months later, they come out.
Yeah.
So I can see them very easily being like, weird.
Why do they do that though? Because
it gives it the semblance of feeling like a live game when it deeply is not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is worse. To be very clear, is much worse.
It's worse.
But the optics are, it's like a live game because,
Well, even if that's true, it's coming later. It's inexcusable that it wasn't there
in the first place.
Because as people are pointing out in chat, like leaderboarding was kind of part of the announcement, like not specifying that it's online necessarily, but just kind of indicating that you'll be able to you'll be able to compare your times with your friends. Yeah, I guess by phone. Hi. What did you get on that Mario level?
16 seconds. That's 16 crazy.
Seconds. Crazy. I got 22.
Yeah, no, when so deeply, nobody, when they said leaderboards, nobody gives a shit about a global leaderboard that you cannot access for a week.
Yeah.
Because that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Like you submit your time, but you can't see it. It's a weekly refresh. So everyone's putting their times in, and then next Thursday, then the game will tell you where you placed, which is useless.
Yeah.
Entirely useless.
Completely useless. Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah.
They're gonna let you put your dick in the Switch 2. Is the new peripheral.
Okay. Well, we've heard it here first, folks.
Instead of a vitality sensor, it's a virality sensor.
It's a virality system.
Virility.
A virility. That makes a little more sense. Yeah. Virality is like how sick does this make you?
Well, it does that too.
Yeah. Biden must have been playing with it early.
He was just licking it.
I was at Nintendo headquarters, Jack. They let me lick the new peripherals. Virality is off the charts. Kamala's got the sticks for a week. See you in Milwaukee. It's not in Milwaukee. That's the other one.
Joe.
See you in Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah, that's where we'll take you.
That's it. What do I actually think it'll be? I think there will be something with the Switch 2 that is like like hand pedals. There'll be some sort of like fitness thing.
Oh.
Of like, you're like doing like a workout thing. Bike. Like a little bike, like a hand bike thing.
That would be cute.
That's my hot take. And Shigeru Miyamoto is gonna be like, all right, I tried that music shit like 15 years ago. It didn't fucking work. I get it. Like it didn't work. But what I'm really into is riding the countryside on my bike. I don't work in games anymore. Fuck that shit. I get the Mario checks. I get the Zelda checks. I pop into the office twice a year and I go, that's fucking garbage. Send it to Retro in Austin. And what I do is I bike the countryside. So guess what? I put Shigeru Miyamoto's cross-country BMX on Switch 2.
Sick. A video game called Shigeru Miyamoto's cross-country BMX would
fucking rule. That'd be so cool. Can you imagine like a bunch of like remixed late 90s like alt versions of Nintendo songs?
Yes.
Pick it up.
Bang.
God, that'd be so good. All right, we have another question. Incredibly serious question. Are you going to pre-order the Intellivision Amico?
I already have 3.
Steve McDykel. You have 3 Intellivision Amicos.
You want me to go get them?
Directly from Tommy?
Mm-hmm. I can go get them.
Sure. Go. I'll call your bluff on that. Go for it.
I'll go get them.
All right. Nikki's getting up. This is a patented Nikki move, by the way. If you've never...
Hey, Tommy? Tommy.
I mean, I'm on screen. I can't really be Tommy in this version of it.
Tommy? I can't find
him. Nikki's looking for Tommy Tallarico but can't find him.
Okay, well, Tommy's not, I don't know where Tommy went.
Tommy's not there. Oh no, Tommy.
Tommy, he won't let me keep them out.
Tommy, can you hear me? That's good.
Tommy won't let me keep them out, so he keeps them in his bag.
Yeah. Well, so famously, Tommy's out, okay, and also Atari bought Intellivision, but told the former Intellivision that Tommy Tallarico once owned, hey, y'all can keep the Amico. We don't want any of that smoke. We don't want any of that. We don't want the burden of having to deliver on like an $11 million invested, crowdfunded piece that's got all this baggage. It's not coming. It's based on like 10-year-old phone technology. It has no online support. The game support is from a bunch of developers that really haven't done much over the past 20 years. And yeah, it's got all this baggage of having a bunch of videos made about it that talk about what a grift it is. So they left that behind. Very funny. So whatever Intellivision Amico will be rebranded as has yet to come out.
They will sell you for $150 8 video games right now. Evil Knievel, Dino Blaster, Missile Command, Rigid Force Redux Enhance, Moon Patrol, The Milky Way Chronicles, Finnegan Fox, Biplanes, and Brain Duel.
Yep.
It says please allow up to 7 days for your project to ship. For what though? And then I play them on what?
I don't.
Oh, I don't think it's the video game. Our collector's boxed edition complete bundle includes Evil, and then it's the games. Comes with a 3D lenticular card, premium metal coin, and I see, and an RFID game card that will automatically activate once each title is available in our game shop. So you can give them $150 right now for a game that will never come out.
Yep,
that sounds great.
Which is actually really funny. It's like, we know that this will never come out, so you should buy it and then sell it for a lot later.
Oh no, John! There's an app.
There's a Amico app.
Yes, called Amico Home
on iPhone.
No. On Android, John. It has just over 1,000 downloads.
Oh, okay. All of them are Tommy.
Yeah,
nice. The serious answer to this question is no. If that company wants me to play it and they will send me one, I will be very happy to check it out.
Oh, absolutely. That's like when Atari sent me that VCS that didn't do anything or work. I was more than, and then they sent me shoes that I only recently gave to Goodwill.
It's great. Yeah. So if the new Amico, the new Intellivision Amico brand, whatever that is, if they want to get in touch, it's john@vgbs.com. I'm happy to play one of these. I'm not gonna pay money for it.
No. Send John 2 and he'll send me one.
Yeah. Send us 2. We'll play
the multiplayer games.
I will sincerely and genuinely try it and check it out, but I don't think it's going to make any sort of splash in the market enough for me to need to pay attention to it, if that makes sense.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks for those questions. This week, Nintendo teased and then announced a sequel to a remake of a game that was never localized in the United States, and it came out over 30 years ago. That sequel is Emio the Smiling Man, and it is a sequel to the remakes of Famicom Detective Club.
They came to America eventually.
They came to the remakes. Yes. They basically remade them, and then they came to America. Yes. So based on the strength of that happening, they're making another one. And I will for the folks watching, I will share the announcement trailer. Oh, nope. We don't want sound. Sound really fucked with the VOD of this episode last week. So,
cool video.
Cool video.
Metroid Dread development history. Awesome.
This is a disaster. Right, there we go. Yeah, so this is really interesting. So the question is, of course, which got cut off by my thing, which is not what I wanted to.
Well, can you just pull it down so then we can see the subtitles?
Yes.
Perfect.
Subtitles.
Subtitles.
So this is My Hero Zero basically asking, what game sequel to a remake of a never localized game would you like to see?
Game that never got localized.
That gets a sequel.
Boktai 3.
Okay.
Did Boktai 3 ever come out in the United States of America? No, it didn't.
No.
That game came out 20 years ago. So it doesn't hit the 30-year threshold, but it's close.
What's the gimmick on that? Is the moon in your hands in that one?
It's the same. It's still the sun.
It's the same. Okay, it's still the sun.
Yeah, we just didn't get... You get swords. You have melee combat.
Oh, some melee combat. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
And it's Kojima's maybe fifth best game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Boktai is maybe his third best game. Okay, second or third best game.
What are better?
4, MGS 4.
MGS 4 is better
than Boktai?
Is the second best thing Kojima's ever done?
I fucking love Metal Gear Solid 4.
Really? I didn't know this
about game
you.
Rules. Wow. Metal Gear Solid 3 is good also. Maybe I would put 3 number 1.
I agree. We're on the same page there.
4.
Wow.
Boktai.
Okay. And that's it. Nothing else he's done is good. Nothing else he's done.
I just don't think it matters.
No Snatcher, no Police Knots, no MGS 1, no MGS 2.
Oh, Metal Gear Solid 2 is probably better than Boktai.
Okay. And you... Okay. 5 not on your radar?
It's good. Not better than Boktai, though. It's not finished. Boktai is a complete experience.
I agree that MGS 5 is not finished.
You know? So like sure. I would put a complete good experience over a good experience that's not complete. Okay. PT is not a video game. Sorry.
Did you play PT?
Nah, I watched a person.
Oh, I was about to say. I was like,
again, I'm not old enough.
There's no fucking way you played PT.
I am not old enough to not be able to say I'm good for right now. I'll come back in a second. So I needed the ability to say, I'm gonna just hit that space bar and walk away.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway, no one's gonna buy this. So.
No one's gonna buy this. No one's gonna buy this.
Emio.
No one's gonna buy Emio. We're gonna watch all 7 hours and 40 minutes.
Strap the fuck
of Metal Gear Solid 4. The
John,
movie
in this
HD.
game, a guy fights a guy that has his DNA in it. His brother, kind of, on top of a big robot. They do hand-to-hand combat.
It's cool. It's very cool.
It's fucking sick.
I know. I know. It's very cool. I did not think this game was. So a couple things to know about my experience with Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay,
is that I loved 3 so deeply.
Yes.
That I really needed future versions of this game to be very much like it. Okay. So when it wasn't,
it was not like 3 at all.
It was not like 3. So that's a little bit on me. Also, when I played this game, I was alone in an apartment. I had not lived alone ever in my life. And this was about 2 months into living completely alone in an apartment. And I had watched There Will Be Blood twice. The week that I started this game.
So you weren't in a good
So I was in a really, really weird headspace.
Yeah, for sure. So this sounds like it's your fault that you don't like this game.
It might be my fault, and it might mean that I need to go back and play it.
Well, you're going to have to fucking get a PlayStation 3.
I have a PlayStation 3.
Oh, okay. Well,
I have an OG PlayStation 3 that plays all
PS2
the
games and PS1 games.
Wow. That was my favorite conversation I've ever had with a official like game platform employee, because it broke once, and they were like, oh, and then I called them and they were like, God, we are like so excited to send you a PS3 Slim.
Yeah,
we can rush it to you and it could get there tomorrow. And I said, shut up. Shut up. You're going to take this PS3,
100-pound computer.
This 100-pound computer that plays everything, and you're going to fix it. And they were like, okay, please. we are legally obligated to fix it if that's what you want. And I'm like, that is what I want.
And 7 months later.
It was a while. It was about a month. But I got it back.
Oh, wait. Okay. So how many consoles in your lifetime have you sent back? For
my Xbox 360 Red Ring twice.
Of course. Yeah.
My launch PS3 broke. I did not send in my PS2 when it broke, because I broke it because I did some illegal things to it to get Fire Pro Wrestling Returns working. Before
what did you do to it?
I modded it. I modded it from the ground up to like play Japanese games. And then I did it poorly.
PS2.
Yeah, of course it would have. Of course. But I was in my era of like, I'm gonna do this. I'm like a shittier Chris Person. Like Chris Person just wrote that great piece about basically like deconstructing an espresso maker to basically like also make the bed in the morning or whatever, and he's like a genius or whatever, and I'm just like a fucking idiot. It's like, so you just take out the whole motherboard, right? Oh, soupsy doodle, I dropped it on the ground with I dropped a slushy and it fell in the slushy, but I can pop that right back in. All right, let's play Fire Pro Returns. Ah, smoke. So it's just like, I'm just so
that's
stupid.
Fair. No, that's fair. I sent in my Wii once because the disc drive broke.
Oh, okay.
And then I sent in my Xbox 360 twice.
Yeah.
And then I think that's.
Can you imagine the Red Ring crisis in like today?
That would be it. They'd shut it down. But like the last time we had that was when on this scale. And I actually do think it really means that it's time for we're about due for another one was when
Now what was that? Sound?
A bunch of plastic lids just decided to jump off the platform they were on.
Of course.
Yeah, Tommy's back.
Tommy's home. Tommy's home.
Was when the Galaxy Notes just started exploding for no reason.
Yeah, that was when a bunch of Galaxy Notes exploded on.
They were like, "Hey, you can't bring this phone on the airplane."
On a plane,
they were like, "You have to leave the phone here." That was the last time we've had anything at that scale where it was just a catastrophic failure to the point of like, so now there's no. We haven't had one of those in a minute. I never sent in any Joy-Con because the idea of having to take just Joy-Con to the post office was so insane to me that it was somehow in my fucked up brain, it made more sense to just go buy another set.
Right.
That's why I have so fucking many.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And the thing is, I have so many, I don't know which ones work either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the box of Joy-Con that I have. Like it's right there. The lid, one of the lids that jumped out is the lid. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really sad about the Red Ring when that happened the first time. I thought like I had avoided it for like 6 months, and I felt like this is my hubris. I was like, I know that this is happening to people that don't take care of their Xboxes.
I'm different.
Like I'm in like a sophomore in college, and I'm like, I take care of my stuff.
Yeah. I'm not shitting directly into the disk drive.
Yeah.
Unlike these people.
I've seen the way people mess with their own consoles. I'm better than that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's time to play Oblivion.
And then it exploded.
That's kind of how I thought.
They fucked up real bad.
They fucked up.
Listen, Microsoft had never made anything before. It was their first time.
It was their first time.
It was their first
Famously,
one.
It was their first time.
They'd never made anything before.
Yeah. God. I mean, at least it didn't happen to them on the first one, I guess, because then they probably wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't have done. They wouldn't have done
another one. Yeah, I agree.
Does Metal Gear Solid 4 not look good?
No, it doesn't look good. It didn't. I don't think it looked good at the time. That was like part of my. That was kind of part of my complaint is that I actually think they.
I don't think this game looks good.
I think they fucked. I think like art direction was worse on this game than it was on 3.
I haven't looked at it in a long time. He dropped a SIG.
That's my honest. That's my honest take. I just don't think it looks as good as the other ones in the series.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it is that era where everything is gray and brown. That is true.
Yeah, like very deeply. Oh, I forget. Yeah, his suit is camouflage.
His suit goes camo. And smoking finally catches up to him in this one, which is
no, he's fine.
Don't smoke, kids.
You can smoke.
If you can. No, I know. I'm not saying you can't smoke.
The robot's going to smoke.
I didn't. God, that would have been so cool.
If the robot put it in its mouth. God, that would have been funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I would completely change my mind about this game if that robot smoked.
No place for Veo.
We have one more Hive question before we welcome Kofie to the show, and it's a great question. It is, what's your official bop of summer 2024? This is from Dull Focus. That was my easy answer too. That's a good one. Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso is a great track. I actually think Please 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 is a better song, as I think it's funny.
Yeah, the way she says motherfucker in that song is inspired.
The way she says motherfucker, she goes, the ceiling fan's so nice. And then they go, so nice in the back. Yeah. It's funny.
It's funny.
It's a funny
good
song.
Track.
It's a good track. So Sabrina Carpenter's kind of whole deal this summer, I think, is my answer. I like Birds. I think Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish is my favorite song this summer, but I don't think it's like a summer bop.
Not Like Us is a bop.
Not Like Us is a bop.
I'm looking at Apple Music now to see.
Not Like Us and Espresso, I think, are in a conversation for
Song of the Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's those. I mean, Grown Up Christmas List by Amy Grant. It's got to be up there for a lot of people.
Yeah, Santa Buddy by yeah, that's a good one.
I did. You know what? I shouldn't, but I'll say it. I listened to Shut Up and Dance. That that song is awful.
It's awful.
I think it might be perfect though.
Oh no.
I think it might be like construction wise. I think it might be perfectly constructed, and I don't think it's good.
Wow. So you're like, it's objectively great, but but
I think it sucks. Yeah. Okay. But I think like as one of those where it is so built in a lab to be in your head all of the time. The cadence is correct.
Yep.
Like the repeatability, even if you don't know the words, you by the time it hits the third chorus, you do know the words.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Like I think it's just a good pop song.
Okay. All right.
It did ruin that band. I did like Walk the Moon before.
Did you?
Before that song came out.
What did
that first Walk the Moon album is good.
Wow.
I think. Yes. Liv is saying that song has the exact energy of an Abercrombie and Fitch corporate event. You're right. But my argument is
Shut up and get spritzed with whatever the store smells like when you walk right into it.
That's good.
Yep. Spritz with pee. That is good.
I think that is actually a testament to how good you have to be at making music that the human brain immediately noms onto it.
It's true.
I think that's hard.
I think that is hard. I totally agree that that's hard.
And I also think that we don't have enough measures of when a song ruins a band. Because they kept making music after that.
Yeah, they kept doing it.
Worse.
Yep. Do you think that they learned the wrong lesson from that song blowing up?
Yeah, absolutely.
They were just like, oh, we have to make more stuff.
They should have, yes. They should, everyone, if you have a song that pops off like that, you should be able to be like, oh, great. Now we never have to do anything again.
Right.
Like this.
Yep.
Like we've done it. We've checked the box and now we can make small weird stuff that nobody's going to listen to, but it's fine because we've made more money than God on Shut Up and Dance.
I'm looking at my list right now too, and Lithonia by Childish Gambino, which I think is pretty good.
He's dead.
This is his last one.
He killed him.
Yeah, he killed the character of Childish Gambino.
That's good.
This is his last album as that character.
Dream about he was in my dream last night.
Donald Glover was?
Yeah. I was out with and Maya Erskine was also in it.
Okay,
and
so
they were
just
I was
like,
just having a Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So the dream was I was with people who I couldn't, gun to my head, couldn't tell you who they were.
Mm-hmm.
But we were all together trying to find seating at this place. And my group was behind Maya Erskine, no one's quite sure, Donald Glover. And they got seated. We were talking because it had been a long time. They got seated. And then I was like, I have to go pee. So I just like walked with them towards the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was coming back, my party was coming forward. And then I, as a bit, was like, oh, so we'll just all sit right here at this table with Childish Gambino and Maya. And then I like half sat down and I was like, can you fucking imagine if I did that? And then I walked away.
That's kind of great. So you have no idea how they reacted to that.
No, none whatsoever.
Like, okay.
I was like, can you fucking imagine if I had the audacity to sit down at this table with you? And then I left.
That's fucking unbelievable. Well, yeah, there are a few options. I think Espresso is probably my choice, but Not Like Us is like,
not like I've listened to that song 150 million times.
It's just so good.
Apple Music is going to say I listened to it 15 times at the end of the year. But I have listened to that song an unbelievable amount.
Spotify Wrapped is going to be crazy. It's going to be like, wow, you loved Please, 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 and Not Like Us. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's like the only thing.
Thanks.
Only two things. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll be here with Kofie to talk about
football.
Beep, 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 beep. Where's my shit? Here it is.
Here comes a new challenger.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We're back from our break, and we're now one person more. Please welcome to the show from Secret Base and also popular and actually soaring in popularity YouTube channel, Kofie Y. It's Kofie Yeboah. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Welcome. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in like a call since we were in like a hotel room in Los Angeles like ages ago.
6 million moons ago.
That was the worst week of my professional life.
What happened? Because I just walked in there, zero context, so then we just did the show.
That was fun. No, that was
that
all
part
great.
Was good.
That part was great. Us having people in that room and chatting and like doing stuff was great. I almost got fired for posting a sports blog of all things about the Olympics because it dared to say that China had like a human rights record that's worth looking at. So that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
good week.
But it was a good week. It's like I could look back on it and be like, that was fine. It was great. But you know what we didn't have?
What?
That fateful week was college football video games.
No.
We didn't have that. In fact, we've been devoid of that for 11 years as name, image, likeness constraints kind of blasted the entire NCAA endeavor out the window until all of that got settled. And now we have football.
Yeah, can you pull up football. My lower third?
No. Yes.
Please?
No. Wait. Can I? I can. Boise State football coach. That's right.
That's me, baby.
That's right. You did text me yesterday, and you're like, "I'm Boise State," and I was like, "Blue field, disgusting."
Yeah, blue grass. The grass is blue.
Yeah, that's what they call Boise, the bluegrass state. Idaho.
That's Idaho, baby.
Idaho, baby. I'm so excited that we have college football back. I know you are, Kofie. How excited were you when this was actually first announced?
This was first announced a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. And part of me was like, where has the time gone? Because it was one of those things where you saw the announcement and you're like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. And then the trailer comes out and everybody's like, oh, okay, this is actually real. Because we've had
video game.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had video games in the past where they'll be like, oh, this game's coming out. And then you'll be like, okay, when and if, and so I was kind of just being like, okay, I have to see it to believe it in terms of just like getting the hype up. I'm going to go do whatever for 2 years or however long it was. But amazing rollout. No notes on the rollout, because the thing is just that it seemed like they just fed off of the hype that we all had for the game in and of itself. Yeah. And I think that was just such a perfect way to release the game, honestly.
Yeah, I think the marketing team for this game has been kind of really, really great. I mean, I think it's one of EA Sports' best efforts from that standpoint of kind of understanding what people want back from this franchise. And they thankfully did not fuck with it too much. Like I'm really glad that they decided to play it fairly safe. If you played NCAA football 14, there's not a ton here that's like different from that, but they brought a lot of stuff back, and like they made sure a lot of that stuff was there, which is really, I think, all most people wanted from like a return, right?
Yeah, it's super easy to market a video game, I think. Well, maybe it actually isn't actually that easy. I don't want to invalidate the word.
Go ahead, Niki. Try to get people on board with fucking I don't know, cricket. Go ahead.
No, but I'm saying
they're bringing cricket back.
It's easy to do when the game that you made before was good.
Yeah.
And the expectations are for just that thing again. And right. If your team is aware and confident in the product that you have made, which is, yes, we have done the things that you are looking for, that makes it easy to market the game, I think.
Yeah.
Because you're not trying to, it's not anything bigger than it is. They wanted to make another college football game, and they made another college football game.
Yes.
And like, I think being able to sit in that confidence, like really shines through the entirety of the experience from the lead up. Like I was watching there are videos that are like, hey, here's an explanation of the way that we changed the way that the animations work.
Sure.
Those videos on their channel have crazy views and crazy engagement that like no other game gets. Like right. Nobody gives a shit. Usually.
And it's the same engine that Madden's been doing the same kinds of videos with for years.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be a theme in this conversation because Kofie, I want to ask you, like, you've been someone who has been fairly vocal and specific dissecting the ways that Madden has been pretty disappointing, I think, over the past while. Like, not a lot of really interesting iterations with the game, a lot of focus on, Ultimate Team without a whole lot of focus on franchise and kind of the stuff that we like to tinker with, we being the people on this show, like to tinker with. I feel like a lot of the excitement of College Football 25 returning is almost a direct response of, okay, y'all fucked up Madden so bad over the past few years. We're just happy to have something else. Like, do you feel like there's some of that happening as well?
I think the thing with college football and Madden is that they've always been two different games. Where no matter what, if you played NCAA football 2005 and Madden 2005, two completely different games, right? Mm-hmm. NCAA football 2005, they highlight the triple option, whereas Madden, they highlighted the hit stick, right? Even though at the core, if you showed both of these games to your parents who don't like know video games, like they might be like, oh, these are the same games. But someone that's played both, these are two different games. People go to each for a specific thing. And that's why it was so important that when they were doing the rollout for this, they had an entirely separate video talking about Dynasty mode, right? Mm-hmm. This Dynasty mode is a unique case in that it's not the same as Madden. You have to recruit players instead of draft players. You get only 4 years of these players, and you have the transfer portal, and you have all these other elements that matter to college football video game fans, versus where Madden has kind of focused more on Ultimate Team and the online mode all of these years. And there are a lot of features that were in older Maddens that are no longer in Madden now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a lot of people's frustrations with the franchise as well, because I think there's a lot of love that goes into, like, people love Madden, people grew up with Madden. And that's why I feel like we, as the fan base, are its harshest critics, because we just want to see the game succeed and see the game have all these features, have all this immersion. And that's what college football specializes in. They specialize in all of the immersion. They specialize in the specific stadium entrances. They specialize in all the mascots. They specialize in the fight songs. They specialize in there's so many different factors into NCAA football because they have to make every team look accurate. They have to make every team in the game. They can't just be like, okay, this is the University of Maryland. Where's the turtle? Right. This is like they can't do that. So I think that all of the details here that we see in college football 25 are, I hope that it's a wake up call to the Madden side being like, hey, these little details, they matter. It makes us feel like we're a college.
There's no, because I played like the 10-hour trial of Madden, whatever the most recent Madden was, like
24.
2 months ago. Yeah. I like literally just did a season. Like I like did one season. And I was like, oh, this is exactly as much Madden as I want. And I was like, there's no individuality in the presentation of that game to the point where I might as well have been playing all of those games in the same stadium with the same people. Like it didn't feel different. There was no differentiation in the experience. So yeah, to your point, Kofie, like it is so important. Also, people know exactly what to expect from these traditions because they are traditions, right? Like they are institutionalized, long-running bits of community that people know, have seen, and understand, and have been the same for a very long time. So like, yeah, you gotta nail this stuff, and it really does feel like they have.
Well, and so presentation, yes, they've got different kind of traditions for 130 different teams. Like, oh, you're also seeing, if you're watching, the fact that my Elgato does not like this video game. It blinks out when I was trying to capture footage for it. For whatever reason, I think I'm gonna go in and fuck with some settings on my Xbox, but it does not like Elgato. Whenever it does transitions, it blinks out. But so they've got that presentation stuff down for all these specific teams. Another wrinkle that they added in terms of presentation, which NBA 2K has been doing for years, is different announced teams. So there's an A team and a B team, and it makes it feel like you're watching a primetime SEC showdown or an ABC matchup on primetime or whatever, versus like, oh, it's Akron versus Kent State on a Saturday afternoon. Like, they feel different in that regard too. And what's interesting is that NFL games, and I'll beat this drum a lot, and I won't beat it much more, and I'll just leave it there. They have not done a lot in terms of presentation of this side of things in literally 20 years. Like, the 2K series like had this on lock. The commentators were like weird and they were made up and fake, but they had a lot of ESPN personalities baked into it that made it feel like a TV show. And I feel like the college football 25 actually has stepped in that right direction, not only nailing the team atmosphere, but also a lot of the presentation stuff as well.
So, I totally agree. And I think there's a YouTube video that showcases that Madden has been reusing the same Super Bowl winning animation for like the last 3. It's like that kind of stuff where it's like, yeah, it might not matter in the grand scheme of things, but just the fact that like it's all the little things that just add up.
Yeah, it's like the whole point. You're more than I think any video game, a sports simulation game, there is a thing that it is supposed to look like. Very intentionally and very clearly, it is supposed to look like the way it does on TV. And like, when it doesn't, that uncanny valley is enormous because it is very clear where it fails to meet that expectation.
Look at this run-up breaking. Sriracha Chili in late on the chat asking why the screen's shaking so much. So so Texas was on defense, and that's the home team. When this is something that's really different about college football games is that they try to really make the home field advantage feel important. So if you've got a really raucous home team that is on defense, the stadium is shaking. And you if you're playing on the road, so the next game I played was on the road against Michigan. In the big house, it's very loud, it's very raucous. Not only is the screen shaking, but when you go in to check your players' routes, if they're kind of like rattled, the whole play art is wrong.
Yeah.
Or it takes a while for it to congeal.
Sometimes your guys will run the wrong play. That fucked. Like, I played Oregon last night for the second game because I intentionally was like, I'm going to schedule this game like just to see. And like just to see, got fucking rocked, by the way. But I had just a simple play action, try to dump the ball to the tight end, and then we ran the ball instead. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But like it really does, like, it feels like it matters. You can also like quiet the crowd down. Because I rattled off 2 touchdowns in a row on 2 consecutive drives. Yeah. And that meter in the top right was at half instead because I was in the process of mounting a comeback, didn't finish it. But like, it is a dynamic system and it's sick. But also I do wonder if actually the question is that, like, is it because actually maybe NFL games don't have that kind of vibe? I think NFL stadiums not have that home field advantage outside of maybe like the Seahawks, or like what's the deal, you know?
I think that they do, but I feel like in NFL stadiums is kind of universal, whereas there are certain college football stadiums where you know that they're just louder than others. Yeah. Like if you play the obvious answer is like if you play at Virginia Tech, if you play at Penn State, like if you play at Death Valley in LSU, you know, like people, like college athletes have been like, yeah, that's the loudest stadium I've ever been in. That is the toughest stadium, or one of the things. And I feel like they do a good job of translating this, because it's like, okay, if I'm playing at LSU and I'm on away and I'm starting a freshman quarterback, it's not going to go well for them, right? But if I'm playing at like Rice, you know, I think that it's a little bit less of a intimidation factor. But I like how they add that it's a unique kind of thing, because it also just adds to the sense of like, oh, you're telling like a new player to college football that this is a big game. Yeah, this is an important game. This is a night game. It's like showing how big an important a night game is just matters so much. Like in terms of, hey, okay, scheduling this at night. Oh, okay. You got to step up, you know?
Yeah, it definitely feels. I mean, I think maybe there's also something there about like, well, you know, in the NFL, everyone's professionals. They've made it past this point, so there's almost this kind of like, well, these are all kids. Like they're all kids, and they're playing in this environment for the first time, and there is this kind of like, it is more effective, I think, at making you feel like you have to rise to a certain moment. And than other sports games do.
And then it really makes me feel good when I denigrate these children for dropping the ball yet again and failing the third down conversion. It's not that fucking hard.
Your just shit catch together.
The ball. Just catch the ball.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I in consecutive weeks I like had like a total back and forth dogfight with Michigan in Michigan. And it was really, really tough. And I pulled it out, and it felt really, really satisfying. And then the way college football works, if you're at a certain level of team, I played University of Louisiana Monroe the next week and put 97 points on them. Yeah. So it's like, it was one of those things where it's like, but it's like, it's kind of the vibe. Like, I know that like maybe for some folks that doesn't sound fun or something, but it's like, but it was like, it's kind of how it is in a way with a lot of these. And then like in another week I played like Mississippi State, and it was closer than it should have been. And it's just kind of the nature of the beast. And it's interesting that I think the college football team, they've actually always been good at this, and I think I'm glad to see that they're so good at injecting a little bit of that kind of randomness to college football, where it does feel like, wow, this team's got hands, like more than I expected them to. And it can be random and take you off guard. And if you're not on your game, at any given point, another team could come in and rock your shit. And I do like the way that feels.
That stuff extends to the because I've only touched Dynasty mode so far. So, but that stuff, that randomness, that like, oh, these are people aspect, like extends to the recruiting stuff too. Because like if you do silly shit, sometimes the people will do silly shit back at you. Right? Like there was a 5-star recruit. I was not on the fucking board for them. And I was like, you know what? I'll offer you a scholarship right now. And there's an option in the recruiting pipeline that's like you send the house, and it's like you send you push every single resource. And I was like, it's not going to work. And then we beat Notre Dame. And then the following week they were like, hey, can I come through? And I was like, hell yeah, baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like that's fun actually. Like, and they're getting rejected by players where it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're a 2-star recruit and you're saying you'd rather go to like Arizona State? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Arizona State is my dynasty, and let me tell you, we are 1-4, man. It's bad over here. Yeah.
I think I'm 2-2 because we got again demolished by Oregon.
That's what I love about this game is that everybody's been playing and being like, yeah, I'm actually like, we're not, no one's going undefeated here. We're getting
no, absolutely not.
No,
like if someone posts a screenshot that like they got undefeated, I'm like, oh, so you moved the sliders? You fuck with the sliders? Huh?
I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated as Texas, and Texas has one of the best rosters in the game. But I'm about to go play Georgia. I'm going to get my shit kicked in. I feel it in my bones that like Quinn Ewers is going to throw 5 picks. Like it's just going to happen.
That's the other thing, and I don't feel this about Madden, but I do very much. And I think it's like a testament to this game. Any mistakes that I make, bad reads, bad coverage, that's not on me. That's not on me.
Yeah.
If Malachi Jordan, the quarterback for Boise State, throws 3 picks, that's on him. That was not me. I was not involved on those.
That was on that child.
That kid threw 3 interceptions. He's 17 years old. And he threw 3 picks against FCS Northwest. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But not because of me.
Yeah. Well, you've been playing Dynasty mode. I've been seeing you online doing that, Kofie. Like, how have you been liking that mode? For those who may not know, Dynasty is kind of the franchise mode. You go through 30 seasons. You know, college students are in there for a maximum of 5 years if you decide to redshirt them, but it's usually a 4-year cycle. You have a lot of things moving in and out, but you basically control one team for 30 years. How have you been enjoying Arizona State so far?
It's been good. I'm only 5 games in, and I also play on coach mode. That's another thing. I feel like it's more of a challenge. Like it's more of a challenge than for when I was playing NCAA football 14 a lot. Mm-hmm. I often found like playing on Heisman. Well, that was back then. Heisman was like not what it is now.
Yes.
And I was just like playing all the time, and I was like, I'm always winning because I feel like
pretty good.
We've just been used to the game for like 7, 8, 9 years. So I decided to play coach mode for this dynasty as well. And let me tell you, it adds an extra element because there are certain things that the quarterback will do that you don't even see. And that goes both ways. And it makes me actually really feel like a coach. Like I'm really I'm starting to redshirt freshman because I know that we have to have some growing pains.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the time he's a junior or senior, we have an actual like
a team.
Yeah, we have an actual quarterback, actual team. I gotta get my guys in, you know. These are not my players.
Yeah.
Right. So I just gotta deal with it. But I think it's been a really fun experience because I took a 5-month break away from streaming for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was trying to just like focus on YouTube or whatnot. And then this game, I saw the first trailer and I was like, oh, we're back. We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
There. And it has not disappointed me in the slightest. And I think that the thing for me is that it's been 11 years. My bar was a little bit lower. I know that people are expecting like, maybe they're expecting like a 10 out of 10 game that reminds them of all the games of the past. So I'm like, just make sure the gameplay is a fun gameplay loop. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of it will take care of itself because this is a community where if the game will take care of itself, there will always be someone because in the NCAA 14 community, there was someone where it's like oh, hey, I'm going to keep re-uploading the rosters. Like every year, someone would go through every team and do the rosters. No, like they didn't have to do that, but they did because they loved the game so much. So I feel like the bar on this one was lower, but they still cleared it by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did too. I mean, I think like I have some quibbles with on the field stuff, which we could get to, but like I still feel like overall it's good. I think the changes they made to recruiting are interesting. You can do more things per week with every player. You can decide to go in really soft, which is basically like, I'm going to basically just scroll this player's social media to get a sense of what they like and what matters to them. Or you can, ask around their friends and family about what they like, or you can basically just, like Niki said, send the entire staff to basically go to their place,
show up at their house,
talk to them, and kind of give them a sell. And when it's time to kind of give them a sell, if you do your recruiting right, you basically unlock what that player thinks is important, and it's like a list of like 15 different things. And if your school is good at that stuff and you're allowed to basically bunch those interests together, that can be your most effective tool of recruiting, in addition to inviting them to your school on an important game week. And if you beat a really good team, they'll be like, oh, well, that was amazing.
Yeah, that's what I did.
They'll go with you.
Yeah.
But kind of like, but that recruiting thing kind of goes both ways. Like sometimes it makes sense. And other times it's like Texas doesn't have a fullback on its team. And I'm like a weirdo that's like, I like fullbacks. Fullbacks are fun. But like there's no such thing as like a 4-star fullback. Like they basically like max out at 3. And so I was like, I'll just go offer a scholarship to a fullback. They'll be like psyched that Texas came to just ask. And this guy's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're just gonna be in my top 8 for like most of the season, and then I'll figure it out. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like,
I think
who do you think you are?
Something that I am so curious about. One of my favorite things in like Maddens of yesteryear was when you were doing like franchise mode, you could do stadium expansions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I do wonder, because there are some things that are immutable on like, so like for Boise State, for example, forever, I'm pretty sure we'll just have a B- on facilities and like all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it's like, that's fair, but like year 12, I feel like if we're winning a lot, the school would be incentivized to improve facilities, make the stadium bigger, that kind of stuff. And I do think that it would be, of course, like, I don't think it's in this one, but in the future, I think it would be really sick if there was some kind of, okay, like you can start building out the program even bigger, in like better practice facilities, better locker room, like start with locker rooms, better practice facilities, like stadium expansion, like that kind of stuff. I think would be cool.
So I don't know how deep you've gone into this. Last night was the first time that I dug deep into it, because my coach leveled up. And so I went into the coaching,
the coaching tree,
the coaching skill tree thing. And I was looking around at that stuff, and it like, if you get past a certain level, you get a label that's like coach/CEO, which is which is more or less like a Nick Saban type who can basically influence the way the entire school operates, essentially.
I see.
And so there is some stuff like that, but it's not as like granular as like, we want to build this facility, we want to do this. It's more of like a checkbox, which is like, now your facilities are better. And it's like, that feels a little less satisfying to me. So I do hope there is something more, like if you could, like, listen, pie in the sky. I didn't expect this for this one, but it's like, you've got all 130 traditions of game day down. What if you like went into your dynasty mode and you saw that campus? Like, what if you could see?
That would be cool.
What like that is like
from a like, it's so interesting, right? Because that is such a good point, but it's like, is that what they want the video game to be?
Is that what anyone besides like weirdos want the game to be? Sure. Yeah,
is it like, do you get a little campus tour? Would be fucking sick. As like as a vessel to teach people about these schools.
Right.
Would unbelievable. Piece of software.
Listen, if as an industry, the games industry wants to trade in military recruitment for college recruitment, like I'm good with that. Like I feel good about that trade.
I
think Mascot mode back in though.
I think that this is. I think College Football 25 has the chance to be like the Breath of the Wild, and then we get like a Tears of the Kingdom like in a couple of years, where it's like, yeah, it's like the same base, whatever, but we add all of this extra stuff, which I think that the strategy of EA College Football, these people were just like, hey, let's just make sure we get like the core basics right, because we really only have one shot at this, and we have to beat the Madden reskin allegations and all of those kind of things. And I understand why, like, what Road to Glory people are like, there's not enough to do here, and I'm like, oh well, the game is fun, and they gave you like what you need to have fun with it.
Yes,
I'm good on that. Like, I'm good. Like the bar again was so low. Yeah.
For sure. And that is, I think, the thing, that they have such a strong foundation with this, that I am eager and excited to play this, but more excited, I think, for not maybe next year's game, but 27 is probably going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Once they like have a full dev site, because I'm sure they're already working on next year's now.
Sure.
So, but like by the time College Football 27 comes around, like they've really taken to heart the feedback that they've gotten. Like, there are so many people. Greg Miller over at Kind of Funny, I think this was him. He tweeted out on Monday or Tuesday night, there were 6 just people playing online, not even like people in dynasty mode, people looking for games to play against other people. The game is not out yet. There were 600
for the public. It's not out yet.
There were 612,000 people looking for matches. That's insane. For like, this game is going to be one of the best-selling games of the year. Like, straight up.
Easily,
It is going to be huge. In a way that, like, I don't know if EA is prepared for it.
I don't know if they're like, it always felt okay to me for them to release college football in NCAA at the time and then Madden in consecutive months, because I felt like those were two distinct audiences to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
But now I think it's dicey for them. I suddenly think it's an interesting like moment to go, we're a month away from Madden, and by no one that I know is going to be like, I've got to drop this and I got to go over to Madden. And that's an interesting place to be for them.
I think that this is the first time that college football has had this big of an online element to it.
Right.
I might like in the Xbox 360 days, I feel like you could play online and whatnot, but I feel like this is like way more than that ever has been, where it's like, you have more of a focus on Ultimate Team, you have more focus on just like head-to-head play, you have online dynasties. So when the game first came out, obviously the servers were not working, but I was like, that's not what I'm here for. That's fine. I wasn't. Whenever there's a big sports game release, I'm never expecting the servers to work first day.
No, of course not.
Not at all. I'm never expecting that. But I am intrigued to see what EA focuses on for the next years. And at the same time, if there's ever a sports game that could go 2 years between titles and not have a yearly thing, if there's ever a sports game that could be it, it's this game. Because there are so many people here that will be like, oh, we have to wait another year. Okay, I can just continue my dynasty file from last. Like, we have so much to hold us over, right? NCAA Football 14 held us over for a decade. People were so ready to be like, if we're never getting another game again, I'm going to keep my Xbox 360.
Yeah,
I'm going to download College Football Revamped, right? Yeah. I feel like EA, I feel like if there's a message that we could send to EA being like, you don't have to make this a yearly title.
Yeah.
If it comes at the cost of you sacrificing like actual significant improvement from title to title. Like
I've been a big proponent of taking the Destiny model and applying it to sports games for years now, in the sense of like, you have a big game called Destiny 2. And within that, you have updates that happen at periodically, whether they're big roster revamps or some gameplay tweaks or maybe additions to a certain mode or whatever. But it's not until years down the line that you give us another full price thing. Like that, to me, I think there's too much money on the table for EA specifically to ever do it. I think the shareholder shit is gonna just come down on the wrong side of that. But it's I totally agree. I think it's one of those things where if there's a part of their team that actually iterates on the engine and the gameplay and really huge stuff, and we just don't see that stuff for 3 years, I think most people would be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
As long as people are still kind of tweaking and adding stuff to the original game.
That's what the UFC team does.
Yeah.
It's not UFC 20. I don't know. Sorry if you'd already talked about this.
No, we didn't.
But it's not UFC 23, 24, and 25. It's it's UFC. This is the 5th UFC game we've made.
Yeah.
And I just naming convention already. I know that there's going to be another one next year, but that approach would absolutely work if it was this is college football 3. And it, which is objectively funny, but also that would definitely work.
The anti-boredom says, I think Kofie was onto something with the Tears of the Kingdom style sequel. I'd love to make a flying bike out of broken Urban Meyer parts.
Dude, I've had that game for a year. I'm nowhere close to finishing Tears of the Kingdom. I pick that game up every 3 weeks. I just finally gave up and I was like, I was like, where are all the shrines?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kept not being able to find any shrines. So I was like, oh, I gotta find a map.
Yeah.
I had
gotta
to
look.
do it. I'm not ashamed of it. I tried.
No,
I gave it my best.
Listen, that's what the resources are for.
That's what they're there. That's what the 20-person IGN team that builds those maps out. That's what they're there
that's
for.
What they're there for.
We have RJ Lee saying, "Hey, remember in NFL 2K5 you could deck out a room, please? That's the crib, please, please. I want that, but make it a college dorm. I think that would actually be very cool.
Yeah,
they had a dorm function, I think, in NCAA Football 08, but that was just the menu. I remember when old Madden.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, old Madden's in that era where it's hey, this is your it would be your apartment. You couldn't really I don't think you could really add stuff to it, but just the menu being an apartment, was cool.
They should let you. They should let you play a game hungover in the Road to Glory mode.
Yeah,
they should let you go out on Friday night and then roll into the stadium hungover.
Yeah,
and you get
your routes are squiggly as well.
Yeah, exactly. Your routes are squiggly at home.
Yeah,
your routes are squiggly at home. Your acceleration is 10 points lower.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't have good. Yeah, your stats. So you just get a general debuff. The team,
but you
gets
also
a debuff.
have no fear.
No, for sure. Yeah. Your injury slider is cranked all the way down, but your skills are way
I can run through a brick wall, but I'm slow. Ganjahorn asking, why is it? Nope, that's about. Well, we'll answer this one. Does Musburger get horny for the players? Yes. Brent Musburger, I have to say, is not in this one.
Unfortunately.
But also asks, why is it college football 25 when it's 24? So for any sports title where the season bleeds into the next calendar year, they always name it the next year. But if you play baseball game, that's always within one calendar year. So that's why you play MLB The Show 24 in 2024. And that's why you play college football 25 and 24 and 25.
What if they call this Madden 3? Because they already did 25.
Well, this is the year that they had to reckon with the fact that there's already been a Madden 25. If people don't know that story already. But Madden 25 was already out there as the 25th anniversary of Madden, and now they're back around to Madden. NFL
On the list of options, would you prefer it to be called Madden 25-2, like a Final Fantasy game, just Madden 25, or just Madden, or Madden 2025?
I would
miss
do
the whole year.
I would do Roman numerals.
So Madden, the whole thing, like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's Madden XXV.
Yep.
That would be so sick. They should do that.
I would just be like, just do the Roman numerals. I feel like everybody's gonna be like, yep. And if they do now, would they do Roman numerals forever? I don't know.
No. I think just for this one. Just for this one. Just because this is a corner they painted themselves into by accident.
Yep. No, by accident.
They didn't think they would get this far, I guess.
I don't understand what that's like. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. Like a year after that game came out, it's like, hey, Bob, you were in charge of that name, right? Did you not think we'd be around in a decade? Because we've been kind of just doing this shit on autopilot for like 25 years.
This is the 25th of these that we've done.
Why do you think we're going to slow down? No, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
They already have a Madden 25. My Hero Zero saying Madden 25 3/4 birth by sleep.
That's great. That's good.
That's a good one. Madden 25, the sequel to Madden 24, like Riven, the sequel to Myst. These are great suggestions.
We should do custom covers.
Ooh.
And by we I mean you should pay someone to do custom covers.
Yeah.
For Madden that you can print out at home and slide into the slipcover case.
They're all tough acting Tinactin ads, but it just has the Madden logo on it.
That's
good. That'd be good.
That's great.
That'd be pretty fun. Kofie, any parting words for college football before I ask you about some other bullshit that literally nobody on this chat's going to care about the next few questions I have. So we'll put a stamp on the college football 25 stuff.
Parting words for me is that I, for years, have not been afraid to be critical of EA. I think that I still have a good relationship with EA, but I'm still not afraid to be like, hey, it's constructive criticism. Yeah. When there's an office building in the middle of the field, I have to talk about it. I have to. Come on, man. Like, it's one of those things that you literally can't not. Yeah, okay. It's one of those things where it's like, but again, this crew. And you've seen on Twitter all of the people that have worked on the game being like, it's been an absolute honor to work on it. It's like the humbleness, it's the passion. And you can see that passion so brilliantly reflected in this game.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see where this game goes from here. It's only been 3-4 days. Like, imagine when the season starts. That's going to be awesome.
Right.
Imagine when we start getting, I haven't even thought of the esports aspect to this yet. Imagine when we get that. Like, there's a Madden Championship Series. Is there going to be a College Football 25 Championship Series?
Yeah, Bronny's going to win in this one too. Finally win a game. Good for him.
Finally.
It's so fucking... The optics on that are so bad. So unbelievably bad. I would not have let him come close because now the narrative, the only thing he won this summer league was this Call of Duty tournament. Anyway.
they won a game yesterday.
They did win yesterday.
They won.
By what? Almost threw it away. Really close to throwing it away. But we did win yesterday.
Oh, man.
It's funny. I think aside from some on the field wrinkles, I still think these games deserve their own engine. I think Frostbite engine was an interesting experiment, and I don't think it works for these games. Like, I think there are just too many weirdnesses with the ways that bodies collide with each other.
It's bizarre.
I'm still seeing way too many, like, we're going backwards. Like, these games, as someone, and Kofie, I'm sure you can also attest to this because I know you play a lot of older games contemporaneously. Whatever. Who could say?
No one's quite sure.
Like, I feel like I see way too many backs against backs, weird little shifting of bodies in congested situations that feels like these teams. It's not even about these teams. I think this engine is just not built for this kind.
I played a game yesterday. I think it might have been the first game of the year. It was a day game where the shadows were all broken.
Sure.
And all of the shadows were just squares, and they were all flickering. Like every single shadow in the game was flickering depending on where the camera was on the screen. Yes. And I was like, oh, you know what didn't have this issue? Madden 05.
Yeah.
Like, this is a new issue that you have developed your way into.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. It's almost as if when they made Battlefield, which is the Frostbite engine, they were at no point expecting that they were also going to build a college football and a Madden and an NHL game and a UFC game inside of it.
Can you make sure that this game where you parachute in to put C4 on a building, you'd also do a sick rap tackle? A rap tackle in Battlefield? No, for other stuff.
Just for later.
Don't worry about it. All right. Let's put the college football talk to bed. Kofie, you just posted a new YouTube video, which is in some ways more or less a eulogy for Skip Bayless's undisputed career. Looking at the sunset of that part of Skip Bayless's career. I'm a Dallas native, so I have a weird relationship with Skip Bayless. I acknowledge that he's, for some reason, just been on the beat to try to keep the Cowboys, one of the most lucrative and famous franchises ever, relevant when he doesn't need to. I think it's a very fascinating thing that he does. Skip Bayless, like what's his fucking legacy?
Dude, I think that there are so many people my age that only will know Skip Bayless as the guy on TV that says wild stuff and not
that's it.
Sports Writer of the Year that he was in like Texas or covering SMU or whatever he was doing in Texas sports, right? And I think like just goes to show, I mean, it's a role that I'm hesitant to be like someone has to do that role. Sure. I'm kind of hesitant because that whatever he does, he keeps the gears of the industry turning.
Yeah.
Whether it's to the cost of like his own likability, whether it's the cost of his own credibility, even like he's still. I just don't know what it's going to look like with him not being on like Fox Sports or ESPN anymore.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the same when like whenever Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN or Fox Sports, like it's going to be one of those things where it's like you can't just like respawn one of those people. You can't just like bring someone else on and be like, oh, now you're the Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless. Like they've done this for decades. This is a big runway. You know, I don't know what's going to become of it, but I mean, I was like,
ESPN, they are trying to like find the next one, but every single person they pick like does not have the juice.
The next one is like on ESPN was Mad Dog, who's even older.
Yeah, he's older.
Stephen A. Smith. That's the thing. Like I can't think of there's not a young person that has like, that could be like, oh, I can do it. And if they are, they also don't have the journalistic credibility or background.
Correct.
That these two, because a lot of people don't realize that when sports TV first came out, a lot of the sports TV people were just journalists.
Yeah.
And that showed up on, but now there's some people that are just like people that go on TV. Like it's a different track. But like at the same time, if you're one of these people where I call it like sports antagonizing, if you're one of those sports like antagonists and stuff, like that's your lane. You can't rebrand ever. Skip can never rebrand.
You can never go back and be like, it's time to be a mild-mannered person with normal takes. No.
Yeah. No, like, so I don't know what he's going to do next. Maybe he'll have a podcast. But the thing is, he has a podcast now, but no one notices.
No one listens to No one knows that it exists.
No one
because
listens.
I think Skip is learning that Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, like Skip Bayless was never the draw. Like it was either him. He's like a food that you don't eat by yourself, but if you put it in a dish, it might make it better.
Yeah.
But you're not going to eat it by yourself, right?
No.
Like you're not going to eat up. I mean, I don't know if people eat just tofu by itself, but you know, like tofu, you put tofu in a dish, you put tofu in an interesting dish, it can make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally. Well, thank you for answering the one and only time I'll probably ask anybody about Skip Bayless on this program. So I appreciate it. Kofie, where can folks find you? We're going to wrap up the show.
You can follow me on Twitch at Kofie Y. You can follow me on YouTube. Just type in KOFIE. You can type in Kofie Y to TikTok as well. And then Twitter is KOFIE. So
all those places, all those follows are very good. Whenever Kofie's videos pop up, I always watch them. So definitely go check them out. That's a
I appreciate it.
So yeah, Niki, let's follow. If we're watching us live, go to Dump Mail,
voice mail truck.
Dump mail truck. You're about to be on a voicemail dump truck over on Giant Bomb. We'll raid y'all in 1 second. We're going to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for listening this week. We'll be back again with a brand new episode next week. All right, until next time. Oh, also, you can go to vgbs.com/join to join the hive. You should definitely do that. And until next time, just keep on buzzing. Bye.
Bye.